What not to do off camera before a television or podcast interview.
On cam ready in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody, this is On Cam Ready. I'm Jamie Maglietta. I'm offering tips on a regular basis, potentially daily. We'll see how this goes. To really help you start leveling up online, I want you to leverage your expertise so you can start showing up as the expert you are and potentially attract your own media attention. Right now is a wonderful time to be showing up in your social media feed as the boss you are, as well as starting to craft out your own content in the new media space like YouTube and podcasts. Why? Because traditional media is splintering. More and more producers are turning to social media and YouTube for guest ideas. So if you have something to offer, show up in their feed. And if you pitch, you want to make sure that you have your audition video already posted on YouTube. So you better be there too. Now, today we're going to talk about virtual interviews, podcast interviews, and what you need to do before the cameras even roll. You already know how it's going to go, right? You know you're going to be interviewed. You know you're going to have to speak. You should have already thought through what you're going to say to the questions you think they're going to ask. And you should also have talking points that you want to try to weave in casually, never robotically. We talk about this in another video as well, so make sure you check that out. You always, as a host, want to make sure your guest has an edit word and they know that it's okay to take a beat if this is a recorded conversation you're going to be editing. So check out those videos. I give some tips, and my edit word is pretty fun. Let me get a sip of water. Okay. As a former television news producer who's worked across CNN and Fox News Channel, I can tell within 10 seconds if someone is ready to go or not. And it's rarely about what's happening on camera. It's the off-camera behavior that gives it away. There have been so many guests that have joined us either on Zoom or satellite or live on set that shouldn't be there. And I say that because sometimes we book people just because they're a fresh voice. And I know I want you to start showing up so that the media has more fresh voices. But if you're a fresh voice, you also need to be prepared. The manners that you're taught in school should be on display when you're sitting down. Okay? Example. I hate when people do this. Okay, I'm here. What? Do not show up to a national news or a podcast conversation like that. Like, who the heck? I've seen it. I've also seen this. Or this. Don't know where to put. They're just moving around a lot. Like, why are you fidgeting? They don't know what to do with their legs. They don't know what to do with their hands. They don't know what to do with themselves at all. Here's what I suggest. If you're one of those people who's like sitting, I don't have any papers, who's sitting there shuffling papers, constantly looking at their phone, fixing their hair, and apologizing for the poor lighting and chewing gum, start a checklist. Make a checklist. When you're showing up on camera, not only should you be dressed appropriately, which I'll get into in another video, and have your talking points, which I talk about in other videos, you need to have poise and presence. You don't want to show up acting like a child or so nervous that I, as a producer or the host, am afraid you're going to have a breakdown on air. You want to be the professional entering the room who's going to give a point of view that I am going to sell on social media, that I am going to market the heck out of, and be so thankful I had you on my show. The energy of a boss is what you need to bring to that table, that podcast conversation. It's not, hey, how are you? Unless that's you as a whole, great. But don't all of a sudden turn that on just because you're nervous. Get what I'm saying? Some people change their voices, which is also funny. I have seen people sit down, and I don't have my glasses here, but they'll just sit there and adjust their glasses. Hey, if you knew you had a light that caused glare, don't wear the glasses. Or watch, I have a video coming up on this. Adjust your lights so you don't get a glare. Don't sit there and waste my time in the control room or a podcast producer's control room time messing around with your glasses. Test everything out before you sit down. If you're home, there's no excuse. You should be lit. I'll go over this in other calls about being lit and my visibility program, so check that out. But you really just want to have a checklist. So let's get back to that checklist. You want that checklist to be reminders of what not to do if you are one of those people who are fidgeting, or you want it to just be a checklist of everything you need to have before you sit down. No glare on your glasses. You want to be nicely lit. Some people say I'm overly lit. I don't think I am. I'm lit really well. I got no bags. My lights, by the way, are on my Amazon storefront and they're great. So you want to be lit. You want to have good audio. Oh dear God, when people show up and they have no mic, no headset, and they're talking into the computer, I'm like, did you not think that you needed to be prepared? You cannot show up for a podcast conversation or a television interview anymore without a mic. We're way too into this new media space that everyone should have a light and a mic. I'm sorry, have a mic. This mic is like less than $60. Like, just get a mic. If you want press and you want to be on camera, you need to be on camera ready. If I am a booker on another show and I see you show up on Fox News Channel or CNN or a podcast unprepared, I'm going to be like, do we really need him? Do we need this guy? Maybe we don't need to book him. So think about it the same way of your audience. Do you want them to want more from you too? Show up right. And your outfit is something to think about too, but we'll get to that. You also want to make sure if you wear makeup that it's applied. If you don't wear makeup, that you're lit really well. I don't really wear makeup, so light's very important. You also want to make sure your background isn't messy. Like, so many people show up and I'm looking at medications on a table behind them. It's like, this is real life. We don't want to be that messy. And I don't mean to be ranting, but this stuff irritates me as a producer and a host. Okay. So you need to control your presence. Put that list together. Be like, check room, make sure not dirty. Make sure I have lights. Make sure my mic is working. Make sure I'm framed up well on camera. Believe in the rule of thirds, guys. Same for social media. Do I have my talking points? Do I know what I'm talking about? Did I send the podcast host or television producer my headshot and bio and links to everything I do so they can plug me? We'll talk about headshots in another video. That I need to produce up, so I can't just jump on the mic. Okay. So what happens off camera really sets the tone for the on-camera conversation. The producers and hosts are constantly assessing. If you don't look like a strong guest for television, I may say, let's give them 3 minutes, not 5, and let's spend more time with this person. You wonder, you're like, oh, I thought we'd had more time. Yeah, you start to make us nervous. It happens. So does this person look composed? Are they framed well, lit properly? Are they calm, ready, focused? All those things play in. Sometimes if someone looks just distracted even, I'm already starting to write shorter questions and think, okay, maybe we can use the extra time in that last block. The anchors are doing that too. If we see that a guest is very short, like they don't answer they don't have lengthy answers, we'll also start adjusting as an anchor or a host or a producer, depending on your platform, the questions we're going to ask. Like, if this person is very short with their answers, I may say, oh God, we need more questions. So if I plan 20 questions, I may start adding like 10 more just in case we can't fill the time we had allotted. Okay. So what not to do before you go live. Here's my rapid fire producer list. I started to kick through it, but I'm just going to repeat it. Fidgeting, adjusting your seat, hair, or mic repeatedly. Don't do it. Producers read this as anxiety. Apologizing too much. Sorry, my lighting's bad. Sorry, my background's a mess. Sorry. No, make sure it's not. If you notice every flaw, you're reminding the audience to notice it too. So definitely don't say that on air. Wiggling or moving constantly. When you can't stay still, your framing changes. Your mic, your audio. If you're all of a sudden over there, my camera is like, what? If you're on set, you could have a bit more body language and the mic and is on your body and the cameraman may follow you. But if you're at home in a static situation, you kind of need to stay put. Always make sure you look clearly on camera. You lose credibility, period, if your lighting is bad. I'm sorry. If I'm watching a YouTube conversation and a Substack Live, oh my gosh, whenever I see Substack Live and these people are in them basically like in their kitchen in the dark, looking down, like, hey guys, I'm here. I'm like, what? Why are you bending down to a mic? Or they don't have a mic, or they're looking up at the camera. I couldn't give all those examples really well here, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't handle it as a producer. And as a consumer, I think we all need to be better at this point. COVID happened so long ago, we've all been on camera essentially since. So learn how to light your face, not your ceiling. All right, last minute multitasking. Checking your emails, drinking water like mid question or typing like away when I'm trying to get you ready for a conversation on air or the host is so rude. Put your work to the side. You've committed to being here. Stop working. Be present, even if you're waiting 5 to 10 minutes for your start, okay? You want to be asked back. Here's what gives the confidence to a producer. Stillness. As I said, sit calmly. Both feet grounded, if you can reach. Readiness. Camera at eye level. Mic checked. Lighting done before the call or the live hit. Focus. A breath, a deep breath. Smile. Kindness. Asking for direction or waiting for direction. Professional energy. Even if this is a virtual interview, act like you're in the studio. When you project that calm before the red light turns on, everyone behind the scenes just relaxes. And that's when the best interviews happen. So before your next interview, remember this, your interview starts the moment you log in if you're a virtual or walk out on set. Before the cameras start rolling, you're live. The way you show up off camera builds confidence on camera. If you found this helpful, subscribe to the channel, check out my visibility program. A link is in the description. I'll be teaching you, how to prepare, do your setups, map out your space here on my YouTube channel to help get you more technical advice. You can also check out my Unknown to Known video podcast on YouTube and your podcasting platforms of choice with some mindset. I'm tapping new media and traditional media personalities to help you navigate this space and start thinking like a producer. Now let's get you on cam ready. Be sure to check out my podcast, Unknown to Known, next.